Thank you very much for the introduction. Been given 10 minutes, so I hope that I can finish within time. Today, my topic is about gender integration approaches in projects, especially on urban projects. And what I would like to because I think many of us know that for a project, it's very essential that we integrate gender. But then it's not always the case that things are done properly. And I would like to kind of share with you different ways that many people try to integrate gender, but then sometimes it's quite problematic. And so that's where we want to highlight. So I have 8 approaches that I would like to share with you. The first one is gender insensitive or gender hostile approach, meaning that in this kind of approach, they totally ignore gender. In the sense that they ignore women's knowledge or women's role, and then through that they sometimes unknowingly increase women's workload or have adverse effect on women. So, for example, we promote composting. So in the composting is nice for waste management and all that, but then they forget that most probably if you promote composting, most of the work will end up on women's lap. So we are doing good things, but then without really thinking about gender, we might be just increasing the workload of women without any benefit. So that's the gender insensitive or hostile approach. The next one is the basic needs first, gender second approach. So this one is especially in seen in the food, for example, food availability or water availability. So in this one, they say that, okay, everybody is hungry, so we have to make sure that people have food to eat. So we have to think about food first, and we can think about gender later on. So that's the basic needs first, gender second approach. Now, what we need to think about is that, okay, why is it that some people are hungry in the first place? Many literature have already told us that it's not because of the absolute amount of food, but it's also because of the distribution. So when we are going to design distribution, of course, we have to make sure that the marginalized people do get access. And then that's where the gender analysis comes in. And then so we have to make sure that marginalized women and other marginalized people are able to have access and also be able to afford the services or the goods. So the same for water, the same for good food. So you have to design it so that we can make sure that everybody can afford and have access to. So that's why we cannot just say that, oh, let us have water first, clean water first, and we can think about the gender later on, and then you will not be able to achieve water access to everybody that you wanted to have in the first place. So we have to make sure that when we have this kind of services, are the areas where women are given priority or not. So these kind of things are the another concern that we have for this basic needs first, gender second approach. The next one is we call it household as a single unit approach. This one, they consider that household is a unit. So one family, so one household, if the household is benefited and everybody in the household lives happily ever after. So because there should not be any conflict or any differences within the household. We all know that that's not the case. It's always the case that something within the household itself, there are distribution problems. We have been hearing how girl child will get disadvantage in terms of food access or education access. Women eat later than men. So there are some cultures that is like that as well. So we cannot just kind of assume that just because the household that benefited, everybody in the household is equally benefiting from that service. So, for example, if for example we give some subsidy for recycling activities, so if the household does the recycling and then we give some subsidy. In the end of the day, what happens might be the case that the head of household receives the subsidy and then keep it for himself, whereas all the recycling activities are done by the women and children. Yeah, so and then the money that you get, and then the people who are actually doing the job might not be the same within the household. So again, another problem about household as a single unit approach. We do need to make sure that there are differences within household people. The next one is welfare approach. Yeah, so this one is something that we see that the woman, poor woman, yeah, the woman need to be helped. Yeah, so this so very nice, yeah, very nice heart, yeah, that we want to help the woman. Yeah, but then when we say that, okay, yes, we want to help the woman. Yeah, what we normally don't, we often do not do is that we do not really ask the woman what they actually need, because actually we know better than you do. So that's why we would design it for you, because for this poor woman. Yeah, so this is the welfare approach of it. Yeah, so they do not recognize also that women sometimes can help themselves. Yeah, and then that, yeah, so that's the whole welfare approach. So it's nice, yeah, but then it doesn't really empower women as such, because they're gonna kind of see women as inferior and not being able to do anything. So that's another problematic approach that is often also seen. Another one, we call it add gender and stir approach. So this one is that we design, first of all, nice project. Yeah, so very nice efficient waste collection project, for example. Yeah, and then we say that, well, this one will also benefit women and men. And then both women and men will participate. So all these things that we would normally write people, you just replace it with women and men. And then pretend as if, yeah, women and men are also going to be considered. But then without really changing the design itself, without really checking whether this design is actually helping women and different kind of women. So without having that kind of analysis, you just replace people with women and men, is what we call it add gender and stir approach, which see a lot, yeah, because they just say that, oh, women will anyway benefit from this as well. So that's the gender add and stir approach, which again does not really benefit women, might not benefit women as we expect them to do. The next one, we call it celebrating women approach. So this one, we say that we highlight the benefit of having women in the project. So they recognize the benefit of gender integration, women's participation. So that's really nice. Yeah, but then they will say that, oh, women are good in cooking. So that's why let us involve women for this nutrition as component of this project, and then train the mothers in order to cook better food or food management in the household. Now, that's fine, but then it also creates stereotypes that women are the one who cooks, women are the ones who cooks for the children, women are the ones who's still going to take care of that. Some household, it might be the men who's doing it. Yeah, but then by having this kind of design saying that, oh, this is women, yeah, and then you are actually strengthening the stereotype. Yeah, so it doesn't really help women. It doesn't also help men either, because some men are also involved in that and they're excluded because you design it like that. Yeah, so that's again another problematic approach of celebrating women approach. Next one, we call it instrumental use of women. Yeah, so this one, they recognize that yes, women are very good. Yeah, women are very active. Women, so women are also in charge of household waste management. So let us involve women, yeah, because women will be the one who will be able to do this better than men. Yeah, and then also women are at home, so let us involve women, yeah, because for community activity, because they are available at home. Yes, so they recognize women very much, but for the benefit of the objective of the project, in order to make sure that the project runs better, they will be involving women for that. Yeah, but then it's not for women. Yeah, it's not. They do not really care whether women's burden will increase, or whether the benefit will really actually go to women, or whether women's position or recognition is going to be better. That is not going to be. Yeah, that's not the concern of this approach. It's a more instrumental use of women. Let us use women so that we can run the project better. Last one is the transformative empowerment approach, which we are trying to advocate much more. This one, the women are the one who leads and design to make the project so that it will meet their needs. So, and then they were also given resources, not to say that volunteer work, women were anyway at home, so they are not there. So this kind of volunteer work is not what we are asking for. We're looking for differences among women. We're looking for giving women resources so that they'll be able to do that design as well. In this approach, we also recognize the differences among women. So it's that we have the design, but then seeing from this group of women, this group of marginalized women, or this group of marginalized people, and then see whether the affordability and accessibility is really going to achieve. So changes in gender relations, or like priorities are given, to make sure that the voices of these marginalized people are heard and the needs are met and their roles are recognized and rightfully rewarded is something that we are also looking for. So this one this was just to as an example of how we the framework that we use for our urban environmental management project that we had at AIT. So looking at doing gender analysis of the roles and resources and access and women's positions and roles and why are they doing that. So that kind of gender analysis is there, and looking at what are the challenges and opportunities, that what kind of opportunities are there to improve gender relations, to uplift women's positions. So we also try to maximize that in the project as well, so that women will be both women and men will be the actor in these community actions. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.